準備はできているな。始めよう。
Okay, so hello, I'm AoKari Despair. Um, I'm finally done as I full combo this rumored to be beastly level 15 among its kind, Falsum Atlantis expert in D4DJ Groovy Mix. I want to make this video more special than just a normal full combo video that I've been doing always before. Then it struck my mind that I should continue the map analysis like what I did in Photon Melody's remix back then. So yeah, let's go. While doing this map analysis, I want to say things about what I may do. First, I will analyze and compare the map to anything whatsoever to show how hard it really was, and at least I can make a bit of a tip in case the map was overwhelming. I will do one overall statement. I am not too good with extreme analysis. If I lack at any part, then I'll hope that this is just my take that could be any data in this research of this map was kind of open-ended, and I always have been different from almost anyone. So yeah, with that, let's go to this auto gameplay. Okay, starting off the map, very basic 13 in this part has a fader manipulation that may not be worth of level 12 but overall pretty easy. And then going to this one small drum roll top notes really sticks to being a level 15 introduction. It may be a bit brutal, but as a small intro, it's not of a hassle. In next segment, the hold note parts were in an average easy level 13 plus, then following with difficulty increase, starting the top patterns with partially inconsistent drum roll patterns, but then meeting this stair of top notes like this and somehow accompanied with some scratches that serve as a cut from that pattern. That pattern from this goes into like and then follows a big chunk of fader as there are two fours of fader notes with a flick on the last. So my trick here is that I use my left finger for the first four and then do a fader jump by releasing my left, and then my right will touch the start of the second four and the ending of the segment. This always has been possible to do, just make sure that you have enough control that it won't trigger like more fingers for touching the fader below and messing it up. Yeah. After that faders, there are many combinations ahead as the patterns have many combinations, and as usual more on tabs. It is worth an uploadable level 14 plus but among hard tier ones. Yeah. But by its consistency as the patterns are together is there but not that much of a brutality. Yeah. In this segment, really shows how Falsum Atlantis was a hard level 15 outdoor. Some notes have a pressure to make your hand be quite tired of their technicality. Even with some note patterns like that, overall it's not that bad and there's a reason to keep it up with its difficulty. Okay, we can all see how slow this segment is, how perfect for a breather. But as a level 15, a slow part is in this for being a hard part. By making the whole notes as a border, the first note pattern was really easy. Following the second pattern really utilizes scratch notes for making it hard to word the whole move by jumping to scratch notes. And as for the last pattern, a real spam of tap notes, probably easier than the second pattern, all I could say. Okay, so for this segment, this spices the whole map quite a bit. So, a weird pattern followed by many patterns. So, first from this weird pattern, the pattern should be like this. And then it starts with a reasonably difficult part. So, a holy technicality of a not normal pattern speed along with a bit of very fast ones altogether to make a hard combo. On the good side, it's not within node jumping like in the previous segment's second set of node patterns. So with this top speed, it gives that I noticed that it is easier than Freedom Dive Expert in this consistency. So it is quite doable. But it is still quite hard because this kind of speed will make you forcing it. I always feel like tapping hard when I keep up with it. And then, among fader flicks is making a really fast pattern that is accompanied by this kind of consistency. So, definitely an endurance-wise pattern overall. Okay, so the next part is a real breather faders. Even with this amount of other notes, still a breather, probably a level 14 breather typically. But regarding this fader pattern, since it's all around, there are some. I let the fader cursor sit at the first note, and then by the gap of the first and second note is where my right hand will jump the cursor to the second note and swipe it to the third. Also, it was copied to the next same pattern but vice versa. Also vice versa in the method I used. So yeah, just a breather actually. This starts the increase in difficulty. From the start of the segment goes with a hold note and all-round fader notes like in this game expert. So the transition is fast for that fader pattern, really applaudable. But aside for that, easy drum rolls along with some non-brutal combinations of notes. And then ending the segment with a one column drum roll like in the Exchosino Metal Shoujo expert. So as for this segment starts with a level 13 pattern and then until all round fader notes have become hard with double all round in which tied together and amazing to look at to take control of it. So plus while not dealing with the faders there's a drum roll with some inconsistencies which really strengthens the difficulty consistency of the segment. Agreeably hard too. Yeah, this game expert, if can control its all-around faders well enough, practicing this part would be a good stepping stone. Uh, that is all I could say. Yeah. So now the drop, the godly technicality of Falsum Atlantis. I don't even know why I didn't have much hard time getting an alive combo, but I guess it's what it is. So at visuals, it really looking messy compared to probably any other level 15 up there. Upon out anything uncommonly interesting though. So first is there many drum roll parts with fair scatteredness within the columns from 4 to 6 stops per any drum roll pattern. And then second is few fader patterns had two fader nodes toward a fader flick. Even if starting those nodes were from an inactive fader, there's a little control needed to execute it. It may be hard because of the part's overall consistency from prerequisite like the scratches and fader flicks. Other than that, the part was within the category of consistency. Overall, panic pressure is applied to make it somehow tiring while dealing with small or minor choke points within the part. Okay, so second part of the drop, probably second half. So the technicality was still in there and increasing the difficulty. The same concept of quite messy notes with consistency. Almost no difference. But pointing out something peculiar from it is doing the fader flicks two times in the same direction and same hand. It was accompanied with many scratches like the motion of finger already received a recoil and maybe a factor of doing a combo. That small part in this segment was still based on consistency and some tricks. Now for the second part of this segment, basically a decrease of difficulty or a bit of a breather was in motion. And overall, at least, this part it deserves a level 14 or easy medium level 14 plus difficulty. Now, the last segment of the hardness. So this may contain a really hard part, but on the bright side is that it's a copy pasted to each other for an extension or lack of ideas to make that part. So in this segment, it has two parts in which copy pasted each other. So this first, so many tap notes with a bit of scratch and fader flicks. After this hold note and scratch, the pattern walkthrough for this batch is A, and then as for the next batch, it is almost unstoppable, but in the opposite direction. The alteration go only with, so as for the second part of the segment, also same two batches, but no opposite direction like in the first one. So doing the same walkthrough, it would be, and then transition to both batches for fast, so it's really hard that you have to execute a pattern two times without interval. That's a really hard do. Starting on this. Oh, Firebird Expert. Then goes to the extra say no metal shoujo expert again, then Firebird again. Then simple faders with scratches, and that's it. In overall, it's a good enough difficulty to ensure that we're still within the hardness of the map, while pulling down within the end for a bit without much worry, as the spam exists for ensuring consistency while the faders and scratches on the very end is not much of a big deal. In terms of how hard it is, it shouldn't be that hard as the spams were not weird rather than just being an alien, as Falsum Atlantis was probably the first one to have these kind of patterns. Should be while you're grinding on this, you will learn how to not break the combo on this one other than probably when the drop comes. Yeah. As a summary, Falsum Atlantis is really a level 15 with mastery of technicality, but not the invincible. Has a handful of easy parts, and each transition of difficulty is not too drastic from easy to hard. The hard parts were really hard as there are many jumps to do as to what I did with the thumb. So far, there are no parts that should be considered as not thumb friendly like a part from Invisible Frenzy or Rokochonen. And then, legit, it has really hard parts from its tricks. If not that, then consistency with some tricks that would be also a term. Probably, that's it. Now, as for me, I would say that Folsom Atlantis is more doable since it has no brutality as Freedom Dive or not as a close one to be a bit of low level of speed than Freedom Dive. Another point is the jumping of my finger from any hard notes were not that too much that my thumb can handle. In terms of full combo, I just wish my luck that I can do the whole part of the map without breaking the combo. And not just by saying, do the thing, do the brutality. Somehow I find this easier than few level 15 out there because Folsom Atlantis so far has no non-thumb friendly parts. My concept on this is that if my thumb can do a part easier or harder. As far as you can see, Folsom Atlantis has fair amount of tricks that I should only learn in order to be doable and keep up with it. Same example, Freedom Dive. From its brutality mostly, needs a harsh consistency to the speed that I need a good enough endurance from it. But yeah, Folsom Atlantis is fairly major by a brutality but real deal has tricks that does a combo for its difficulty. And despite of that, there are still more level 15 out there that has more levels of brutality than Falsum Atlantis can offer without its tricks, at least from me in my thumb. I also drafted a tier list for myself of level 15 difficulty via 5 parts among every level 15 out there in the game. So, Falsum Atlantis should belong to the middle tier of the third part. So, no non-thumb friendly parts to belong in second highest and don't deserve a last boss title in the very highest tier. And as by when I'm making this script and only FC 3 level 15, Falsum Atlantis is 5th easiest and 6th if considered the level 15 database in Japanese server. Yeah, that is all for me. I have nothing to give anymore, but I don't know how this video will turn out. I hope you reach this part of the video. I am really grateful, hoping, not skipping it. Well, many things were included in this video. I still don't know my next level 15. If possible, then I shall be a cat remix would be my next bet. If not, then probably Arcana. So I finally revived my map analysis. So I don't know if I should do it to the next really hard maps that I want to full combo in the future. And yeah, still drafting the level 15 tier list. Just comment in this video if you want some perspective tier list from me. And that's really it. Nothing much to add. And thank you very much. And I hope you all keep up with my videos and stay safe. Thank you guys and see ya.